up, besties? So today we have breakfast and a cake. So the reason why I wanted to do a sit-down video like this is because I have done a sit-down video before when I did like the podcast, and I didn't really like it. I really like the concept of eating food on camera and telling some sort of story, whether or not it's scary, whatever. I really like that idea. I'm gonna eat some breakfast. So I have 2 gluten-free pancakes. I have my little latte that I make every morning, and it's almond milk, vanilla, and 2 shots of espresso, and it's Starbucks espresso. And then here I have a cake that I made. It was a gluten-free cake that I bought, but I put a bunch of pink sprinkles. I put conversation hearts. I did 200, and this is for my 200 subscribers. So I know not a lot of people like to watch eating content, but me personally, when I'm on YouTube, I'm usually watching eating content. So this is my very first spooky breakfast, whatever the heck you want to call it, but my very first one, and I decided to put the cake here just to look cute. So today, I'm going to start pouring this, and yes, I'm going to be eating, so there might be some eating sounds. That's the only thing that scares me, is I don't have a microphone yet. I did have one for my podcast, but it's a condenser and not an omnidirectional, and I think I need I need a specific mic to make my podcast, so I'm going to go ahead and buy one. Once I reach like 500 subscribers, I'm going to get a new mic because I think I need that to partake in this sort of activity. So if the audio is not that good, I'm so sorry. Today, I want to talk about the legend, the myth, whatever you want to call it, La Llorona. So I am Puerto Rican, and I wanted to talk about this because I was scrolling on Netflix the other day, and I had seen that they had the movie, right? And my friends, when I was younger, always used to watch the movies. My friend Jennifer always used to put on the movie to scare me. Like, people used to always just put on this movie, and I was terrified. I was terrified of La Llorona because it's horrifying. So I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm not gonna watch it, but it sent chills down my spine even seeing the title. Like, even seeing the video itself, I was like, no, can't do it. For those of you who don't know, La Llorona, which I keep saying it wrong, but I'll just say the Weeping Woman. The Weeping Woman originates back to Mexico City, but a lot of people say that it has indigenous Aztec roots, or roots within Mexico, that the story was derived from. Because in Mexico, when they originated as different tribes, indigenous people, according to the research that I did, they basically said that there was multiple gods, and the gods sometimes had legends behind them and how they became a god. And one of them has a very similar story to La Llorona, so they're kind of like, like, I wonder if this is the same, but they don't really know. And so this story is a little bit different than, I know there's the Weeping Bride story that a lot of people talk about and a lot of people enjoy. But this one is about a mother. This one is not about bride, not necessarily. So she was a bride at one point, but this is not directed at her being a bride, this story. So, and this is scary. Honestly, I'm very not that scared of legends or old tales. Sorry if you can hear my boyfriend in the background. But basically, this is about the Weeping Woman. So a lot of my friends growing up were Mexican, and they would tell me this story, and they would say that when they're in Mexico, when you're near a body of water, you would hear crying. And I was like, why? So it all starts with what people say her name is, Maria. So Maria, or Maria, she basically was in a pueblo, or like a town. So there's like towns like this in Puerto Rico, or pueblos, where it's a little bit more run down, not as wealthy, and so she was chilling in the pueblo, living her best life, okay? Actually, she wasn't, because she was not that wealthy, but you can live your best life and not be wealthy. La Llorona was basically, or Maria, was just chilling in the pueblo, and she's gorgeous. She's a beautiful woman, and she meets a guy, and we're gonna call him George. I don't know what else to call him. They didn't say his name in all the videos and podcasts and things, and like all the research that I did, they just called it her husband. So we're gonna call him George. So basically, George sees her and he's like, damn, you look beautiful. And he kind of just falls to his knees in the middle of a Kmart. No, he doesn't. He just says, come with me, like, marry me, like, be with me. And you know, it's like the classic, like, Nate Jacobs, like, I'm gonna be with you, Maddie vibe.
I promise, Maddie, I'll change, I'll grow, I'll be better. I don't deserve you, but I love you. Please, when I go to college, move with me, marry me, have my baby.
But he's not, okay? He ends up, you know, they have 2 sons, they live their life, they're in a nice house, he's wealthy, his family's wealthy. So basically, he marries her, they have 2 sons, and she cannot live or breathe without her sons. She loves her sons to death, literally. She loves those children more than anything. She noticed that her husband is not as loving and caring as he should be. Side eye. He's just not being the same. And can we talk about how a lot of these stories are about how women are just fed up with men? Just saying. It's telling. There's no like weeping father stories from all I hear. There's always like crying bride. Like we're just so fed up with men, like in these folklore stories, that we're just always crying. Okay? Just take it from folklore that men make us cry. Sorry. So that latte's really good. She finds out that he traded her in for a new model. Can you believe that? He traded her in for a younger woman. A younger, more beautiful woman. I doubt that. If I was Maria's friend, I would tell her she's not that pretty. She's distraught. But she can care less because she's winning. She has her children. And that's all that matters to her. You know, she's depressed. She has heartbreak. But at least she has her children, right? Guess what? George decides to act up. He comes back home. He's like, I'm marrying this woman. I'm leaving you. And I'm taking the children. What was that for? He's like, I'm going to leave you. You're going to stay here. I'm going to leave with the children. I'm going to bounce. She's like, oh, well, before you go, I want my sons to go and have a picnic with me by the water. And so, obviously, she's not mentally stable because someone's trying to take away her children, and she doesn't know how she will live without them because she's a mama bear. Maria, aka La Llorona, takes them down to the river to have a picnic. Now, is this an actual picnic? No, it is not an actual picnic. One by one, she drowns her sons in the water. And so she takes them, dips their head underwater, finishes them off, and basically essentially just goes, oh no, my sons are dead. Goes back up to the village, sees her husband, or the town, or whatever it is, and is like, hey, Jorge, our sons are dead. I killed them so that they won't be with you, they're going to be with me. But once she realized what she has done, you can see her, this is where the folklore aspect of it comes in, that a lot of people say they see her crying in the river saying, mis hijos, mis hijos, which means my sons, and she's just crying. Well, apparently the guilt overran her. So she decides to take her own life. But her ghost can be seen just crying, weeping near bodies of water in Mexico. And this is like not something that people are saying that is not real. Like people in Mexico truly believe that they see her, and who's to say they don't? Like I really can't. I believe in ghosts, so I can't say that they've never seen her, but this is what people say happened, and that they see her walking around crying for her children. And the story is that a little boy actually was at the river and heard the crying, and apparently the cries are like low moans of crying. I don't know if you've ever played Left 4 Dead and there's a witch in Left 4 Dead. It's that noise. People say that the witch in Left 4 Dead very much reminds them of La Llorona. Which is like crazy, like, girl, why are you crying? You killed those children. But I believe it. I mean, the man drove her nuts. So, do you believe in this? I do. I believe it could be true. I would probably not be going to Mexico City in the middle of the night, standing by any bodies of water. That's horrifying. The alternate story of this is that people say that she was actually hung in Mexico for her crimes, and that is how she died. And then her ghost was not put to rest, so she cries at the riverside because she believes that what she did was okay. But then there's other people who say that she committed suicide because she couldn't really fathom what she had done. So there's multiple ways that people tell this story, and it's different throughout the different tales. That's why a lot of people call this folklore, but there's still sightings of her throughout history. And it's not even just in Mexico. This folklore has translated over to other Latin American countries. A lot of people in Ecuador and those places, El Salvador, basically say that they have their own version of La Llorona, but we don't actually know because I've never seen it. But it all depends. The question is, do you guys think that her killing her children was justified? Or do you think it was selfish? I think it was kind of selfish. She shouldn't have killed her children. But maybe she was mentally unstable at the time, and it was some sort of post, I don't know. I was going to say post baby. What is that called? Postpartum. Maybe she had postpartum. We don't know how old the kids were. Postpartum causes people to hate their babies, but at the same time causes other women to ramp up their mama bear instincts and won't even let people see their children. So that could be what happened. Maybe she don't want some other woman with her children. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What you think is what do you think of the story? Have you heard of La Llorona? Have you watched the movie on Netflix? And are you scared of her? Because I know I am. I'm terrified. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to my first, I don't want to say episode, my first video mukbang that wasn't fast food and was just me chilling in the house. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys.